All right, welcome to the Mystery School, episode 8. We are here with Constellations.
What up?
Hey.
Yeah, introduce
Hi.
yourselves. Let's go around. Start with you, Tim.
I'm Tim. I play bass.
Hey, I'm Leshanta. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Josh. I play drums.
I'm Shea. I play keys.
And yeah, I'm Tony. I play guitar. Hopefully you guys know who I am, people tuning in. But this is a band actually, I think Shea and Leshanta planted the seed of this band, right? Wouldn't you say?
Primarily Leshanta, and then
Was it
I think
Leshanta?
Steve started jamming with you, right? And then he came over here, and then all three of us got together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that kind of how it was?
Yeah, how did it start with me and you playing first, and then Shea? Is that how?
Well, I think you were helping him with guitar, right, or something?
Yeah, I used to play guitar in your basement. You'd teach me stuff.
Yeah. And then, at some point, I think Leshanta was saying, talking about jamming with you, Shea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started doing it, and then right away, was Tim first or Josh first from there?
First time I practiced with you guys, it was in your basement, and
Tony's
the
basement.
drummer from fucking Smoke was playing. with
Oh,
us.
that's right.
Was that the
That's
first
right.
time?
Yeah, that was
Oh.
the first time I played with you guys.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
And that was-
it was like I
I
was like, I
definitely
know this
wasn't there.
guy. And we were got really dubby and shit, and totally didn't fit anything anyone else was doing. But I was like, I vibe with this guy.
I just
Just played pawn shop.
we were, I think we were jamming, and I just ran into him that day. I was like, well, we don't got anyone playing drums. I guess come on, whatever.
That's a classic Tony move. Just ran into this guy.
Well, I knew him from before.
No, I know, but you've done that multiple times, which is awesome. It's always an experience. but Someone
Kevin
random will
and-
come with
yeah.
Tony and fill in.
If there's no one playing drums, it really does help to have a drummer to play along with, and especially that first couple weeks we didn't have a drummer, and then eventually Josh started playing with us. Right?
At some point.
Pretty shortly after. I
Definitely
think.
at some point.
We got Josh, and
for sure.
everything
Yeah.
got a lot better from there because we were pretty.
And we had to step our
pretty
game
weak.
up.
Yeah, we were pretty weak
Yeah.
before.
I couldn't play sloppy anymore.
Anymore?
Yeah, we're still kind of weak, but we're getting.
Yeah.
All right, so Shea, let's start with you. How'd you when did you start playing music?
I started playing the alto saxophone in. That's like deja vu. Right?
This story again.
Here we go.
Started
Wait,
playing.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, the alto saxophone in 5th grade, and I played all the way through 8th grade, and then I started playing, making beats, so like the MPC, the Akai MPC 2500. Well, I think I had the 1000 first, and then the 2500 XL, and then I started making beats when doing stuff with Leshanta a little bit, and our other good friend Brian, and then I started playing the piano like 3 years ago.
Yeah, nice.
Are you sponsored by Akai?
I wish.
I like
That'd
how
be
you
sick.
threw that little name recognition bit in there.
I don't even know
the
are they even
Akai
relevant anymore.
MPC.
Like it's still like an even more underground thing. Like how many people go Akai MPC? You know, like unless you're still digging through the crates. Like who?
Yeah.
What kid's gonna know?
They're still on the
Akai
old
MPC?
Dr. Dre videos. You'll never get rid of them.
I guess
there.
that Kanye West did use one at that MTV show or whatever, but he like only would hit the pad one time, and it was just a sample.
Yeah.
But he was acting like he was all gangster. Like
He just started it off with
You
one.
should,
hit.
Kanye
you should
West
bring the
is
Akai back
gangster.
though in our music
I
because
know, it would be cool.
we need that.
We get some cool loops or
We
something.
can just start a hip hop band.
We could do that. I'll be down for that. All right, your turn.
Yeah, Josh, let's hear it.
I started playing drums when I was a kid. My dad played drums, and I just kind of got forced to do it. I really had no choice. Then I got a guitar when I was in middle school, and I started dabbling on that a little bit. But drums are my thing.
Were you into music as a kid? Were you all
Yeah,
about it?
I used to play along to my dad's Kiss and Journey and freaking Rush and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leshanta.
I started playing like around high school, and then kind of immediately just started playing with dudes and playing punk rock music.
Yeah.
That was the slow pitch. Yeah, I just started toying around with dudes. And
I saw you play many times back when you were probably like 17 years old or something.
yeah, I was in a band
Like
called
towards the end of No Regard.
No Regard.
You were even a little younger than that, right? Because Brian was like 15,
Well, when
right?
I
or something?
When I was seeing
Yeah.
you, it was
Yeah, I
probably
think I joined the band. I was like 15.
16 or 15?
15,
Yeah,
yeah.
that sounds right.
Went through a lot of members, and
how old were you
Had
at
fun.
when you played at the Fruit Shed?
Went through a lot of members when you were touring
God
with dudes.
damn, I can't stop. I think I was probably like 17. Yeah, I think the
All right,
band broke
Tim.
up when I was like 18.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I probably caught the tail end the last year or two.
yeah, that was a fun band. And then I did some hip hop stuff for a while with Shea, and
I'm sorry, I'm a 12-year-old.
Tim can't wait for his turn.
Yeah.
Well, you're laughing.
He's really
Yeah.
stoked for his turn.
He loves holding mics.
Yeah, and
Who's
I
mine?
don't know. Go ahead, Tim. Your turn.
We're all gonna be disturbed by watching you laugh. Maybe the microphone should be near your mouth. You were like
this?
hiding it away, so we seem like the crazy ones who are disturbed. All right, Tim. Since you've just interrupted Leshanta with your
It's good. No, I'm
massive
good.
amount of laughing, let's get your
My part
story.
was done.
My name's Tim. I've played trombone when I was a kid, and then I played drums for a minute. I wanted to be Dave Grohl, and then I decided no one could get laid playing drums, so I switched to guitar.
Hair out.
Or was it that Dave Grohl started playing guitar?
Dave Grohl could totally get laid, bro.
Now
on
we
the other
can.
hand.
Was that it? Did you physically, or did you actually think that, like, you can't get laid on the drums? I'm switching.
No, actually,
Wow.
it was like I
It's
couldn't.
true. Drummers don't get any girls.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't find anyone that like could play guitar the style I wanted, so I was like, maybe I should just play guitar.
Yeah.
Mm.
But also that laid thing too, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also
Yes.
the lady thing.
The number one.
Most of what I've done in my life has been in an effort to get laid.
Yeah.
Ah. That explains the booty shorts right now, Tim.
All right, I think I've probably told my story on here before on like the number 13 one or whatever. But yeah, I started playing guitar and I was like, I actually got a real guitar worth playing at like 14. And I was on the computer downloading like tabs of like MXPX or like Green Day or like Social Distortion songs. And just like realizing that they're pretty much just playing like 2 chord shapes, like for all these songs, just like three note power chords, you know, or at least that's like a good like route to just play along with. So I did that for a while. Like you could just find like any song you liked of like the punk bands, and basically it seemed to be fairly similar with some guitar solos, so that got me going for a while. And then I ended up, I guess, listening to other bands and learned like bar chords and scales and whatnot.
It was all uphill from there.
Yep.
Who are your main influences?
When I first started playing,
Yeah.
like I said, MXPX was one of them. Green
Nice.
Day, like it was pop punk all the way. But you know, like shortly in, I got into Rancid and Op Ivy and Social Distortion and like Bad Religion. I was into Anti-Flag for a while. AFI, Tiger Army. I at some point played upright bass and was doing like psychobilly for a minute. I did it for a couple years. Yeah, it's a fun
Did you do the
instrument.
hair?
Kinda. I
Did you
didn't.
try?
I didn't.
Pump it.
I pumped it and greased it for sure.
Oh shit.
Have you never seen
I
me?
can't imagine that. I cannot imagine
Get a
that.
picture.
Yeah, for a while I was wearing a leather jacket and like a white shirt and greasy hair. I did that for a few
How much
years.
grease did you have to use?
I
to
used
keep
Murray's
that
pomade.
under control.
Oh wow, pomade.
I
yes,
was
it's
using
nasty.
Murray's pomade, like the thickest, nastiest stuff there is.
It's like straight beeswax.
It's like skate wax.
Your
for sure.
pillow is like annihilated by the stuff in the morning. It's,
let your
it's horrible.
It is, it's definitely. It's like
The best way to
Vaseline.
get it out would be Dawn dish soap, and you'd wash your hair like twice, and it still wouldn't come out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I used some of that shit in my mustache one time, and it was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, I just remember waking up with that shit all over my forehead, like in the morning, and it's just like, this is so itchy. And
I've had
annoying.
mornings
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
that's bad.
But it makes your hair so controllable and cool looking. I mean, it's worth it.
That's awesome.
I've had mornings like that.
All right, Tim, what are your musical influences? When did you like you probably started
When
listening
did
to like
you
your
know?
parents' music or whatever, or when did you like go on your own?
I was
So-
probably I was in like 7th or 8th grade. And I
What
started
were your
getting-
parents into first?
Well, they're very Christian music based, and then like really early
Carmen?
terrible
Were they into
Beatles.
Carmen?
And like no,
Ray Boltz?
and like Peter, Paul, and Mary and stuff like
oh,
that.
70s? Like,
Yeah, folky shit.
I love that shit.
My mom loves that shit.
That's awesome.
I
wanna
grew
jam
up with
your
that.
mom.
But then I started getting into Nirvana, and then it was probably like when Kurt died that I was like started getting more into punk music and stuff like that.
What was like the first punk band that got you?
It was probably Green Day or Rancid, one of those like.
Yeah.
They probably came about the same time. That was like right when Dookie was coming out, and like
Uh-huh.
then Let's Go came out. Like right after that, it was like about that Gilman Street era stuff.
Did you ever see Rancid like at Gilman when you were like young?
No. The first time I saw him was at a skate park in West Sac called The Grind. It was,
Yeah,
like,
I went
95.
there before, but I didn't see
Oh,
Rancid.
And then the night before, I saw Sublime there with Skank and Pickle, and I didn't know who Sublime was.
Did you like both those bands?
Yeah, I love Skank and Pickle. That's
Yeah.
the reason I went.
You went to see Skank and
Yeah,
Pickle.
and I was like, who are these
Not
guys?
Sublime, though.
And they
You
were
don't
all
like Sublime?
heroined out, and then like fucking 6 months later, Brad died.
Shit.
Yeah.
But you remember not liking them?
I was just like, these guys are fucked up.
What
Like I
about
was
now? Do
really
you like
kind of
them now?
straight edge.
Were
at
you
You like them
feeling
now? Not really. Wow.
I mean, I do. I
I
like
would have
them.
pegged you for it.
I like them, but I'm tired of the Sublime hype.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I
very
mean?
like karaoke. Dude.
Yeah.
But when
Especially here out
Brad died from Sublime, were you feeling like all my rock stars are dying on me? Were you feeling that when that
I
happened?
wasn't really connected to him at that point, but I definitely felt that with Kurt Cobain when he died. I was
Yeah.
like, fucking, life's over. 8th grade, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know,
That-
how everyone
yeah,
is
me
in
too.
8th
Was
grade.
that was rough for you too, Leshanta? That was.
Yeah, I was hella bad. I loved Nirvana. They're like my favorite
I
band
wasn't
when they died.
really that into Nirvana, when they were
Really?
around. Yeah, I mean, I listened to
Nope.
them a little bit, but
I had all the tapes. I had every
Yeah.
tape. I was pumped on that.
I also like went to church with my parents and had somewhat censored music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was censored a lot too. I had to like sneak off to like watch MTV and stuff like that. I remember like hiding in my my parents' room watching the MTV Music Awards when Nirvana was on there, and like they were having like a Bible study like like in like the main part of the house, and I'm like back there like
You had to, like,
up
have
against the TV, have to keep it like super quiet, like indulging in the devil music, as
Yeah.
they would say.
I remember first buying CDs like in between church services. Like there was like a day and a night church service, and me and my friends would hang out like all day and walk around Roseville, and we'd walk to Dimple Records and buy CDs and like hope I guess our parents didn't find them, but
I never had that issue.
I know. Enough with your guys' church
My
stories.
freaking- my-
Everyone's turning off the podcast right now.
My
just
my
like-
crib was
Hey,
in front of
now-
the TV
now we can have the
with
most
MTV.
foul. Well, I don't know.
Nah, it's all good.
Your mom still goes through your CDs once in a while, doesn't she? Pulls out the bad ones and breaks
What
them.
is this? I remember they found the lyric sheet to Propagandi's How to Clean Everything when
Oh,
I was a
shit.
kid, and they were like, "Whoa!"
My mom one time came up to me and she's like, "What's this song you have? It's saying like fuck your parents and stuff like that." And I think it was something from the Descendants. I think it was like parents or something like that. Yeah, I think it was
They're
something
so
like
fucked up.
yeah, it's probably that. But I was like, I don't know. It was in the Napster era, so I downloaded stuff that I didn't probably necessarily hear all of it.
Right.
And I didn't strike a bell.
I'm a boy, I'm not a toy. I will kill and I will destroy. That song?
Fucking look like a spider.
All right, Leshanta, let's hear about your musical history.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember, listening to my parents' records too, but we had weird ones. Like, my mom had a Kool and the Gang record, and I really liked that. But my dad actually, for some weird reason, because I'm from Sri Lanka, we're Sri Lankan, but my dad was like, had to be the biggest Sri Lankan American country music fan on the planet. There's no way there's someone topping him on this. So actually, I remember like driving around in my dad's little car, fucking listening to the country station all the time. And
Would he ever sing?
Would I know?
No, with
Probably
your
not.
dad.
No, never.
Oh.
Never. He wouldn't even say anything, but then I remember like he had certain dudes he liked, and he'd just be like, Clint Black. This guy's a real songwriter. It was weird. So my mom listened to Cool 101, like the oldies, which is kind of weird, I guess, too, because of our culture, but that's how we grew up. And I got into punk rock too, like you guys, but my first punk rock record I remember getting way into was Dead Kennedys and God We Trust Incorporated.
Yeah.
Because my sister was hella into Dead Kennedys, and I remember I listened to
Your
that
sister
record.
was?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I know, it's kind of weird to think. Yeah, she was way into punk rock, like U2. I mean, they're not punk rock, but you know. U2 was the band she was way
So
into.
punk.
I love U2. I know. Everyone hates U2, especially now. But,
Nothing
No, they're
punker
fine.
than downloading
They're
your
fine, but you're not
album to
gonna get any
everyone's
punk
phone.
credibility being like,
but no, she was
most punk
legitimately
bands
into
U2.
like the Dead Kennedys and the Sex Pistols and like, you know, the Clash and good 80s music. Because also, which I kind of think everything from the 80s is a little punk rock in a way. Even
Yeah.
like New Order and fucking
that,
Joy Division.
except
and
the
stuff.
stuff,
Shit.
Yeah, I think that's punk rock in its own right.
except
but-
for Cyndi Lauper and that stuff.
yeah,
Don't diss Cyndi
she's
Lauper.
kind of punk rock
She was
too.
kinda
I would
punk.
say, yeah.
kinda,
Have you heard She Bop?
Blondie. Yeah. But
She Bop's great. It's
I
about
listen to all the
masturbation.
punk rock you guys like too, of course. NoFX and Rancid and fucking all those great bands. Operation Ivy. But going to shows out here in Sacramento, seeing all those, you know, cool bands when there's a lot of venues out here. And I remember seeing the Suicide Machines in El Dorado Hills, and that was a really good show, and that kind of inspired me to, I don't know, be in a band and play shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Sweet. All right, Josh.
As far as my parents go, grew up listening to Kiss, Journey, Rush, that stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
Was it the old Kiss records or like the newest ones?
honestly, I don't even remember. I was so young. And then, not the newest. No, it was all the old. It was all the
Yeah.
old
Was
stuff.
your dad like playing like Strutter on the garage on his drums?
What's up?
Was your dad like playing Strutter in the garage like on his drums?
No.
'Cause that'd be cool to see. If your dad wants to come over here and play Strutter, I'd like to see that.
He might. But yeah, and then I mean I never really got into the whole punk stuff all that much. I mean like Green Day and
Yeah.
you know MXPX a little bit and stuff like that, but I was always more like just rock, radio rock, whatever, you know, and then obviously the whole Blink-182 fucking wave happened and I got sucked into that, Newfound Glory and shit like that.
Yeah.
But
Is that hard to cope with, that getting into Newfound Glory?
I'm not Tim. But yeah, I mean, I listen to all kinds of stuff. I'm
I ended up seeing Newfound Glory at some point. I think they probably played with MXPX or something.
They were huge.
But-
yeah.
Playing it like fucking Ace of Spades. Like
But-
Are you going? Go,
I
bro.
don't know.
It seemed pretty. I don't know. I wasn't into it, and it seemed like it wasn't cool to be into Newfound Glory in the punk scene.
Yeah.
Back when I
Well,
was-
yeah. If you were in the
definitely a lot of
punk
hate,
scene,
for
you
sure.
definitely weren't listening to that shit.
No. But there was a certain group that were into that felt like they were in the punk scene too. And there was like an alt.
I never
you know,
once felt like I was in the punk scene listening to Newfound Glory. So
Can't wear that shit to a punk
Rush,
show.
though.
You'll get
all
your
about
ass
them
beat.
drummers.
pretty
It's
crazy.
all about them drummers.
Rush and you became a drummer.
Hell yeah,
pretty
dude.
good.
That's fucking. Your dad.
Peter
was like
Criss is
Prague,
a cool
huh?
drummer too. I like that old Kiss drumming Peter Criss stuff.
Fucking
Yeah.
Catman.
Yeah.
Neil
Cat Man.
Peart, right?
Neil
Rush.
Peart
Yeah,
from
he's the man.
Rush. Yeah.
Well, yeah, those cat-like reflexes, man. The guy was always on
Mhm.
his feet.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got into Kiss. I always
Me
felt like
neither.
Kiss.
I never did. I never did. I mean, I
Yeah.
listened to it because it was there, but
Right.
I was never like, fucking love Kiss. Like, it was not that big of a deal.
I appreciate
to
it
me.
more now for all the innuendo and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, just every song's about.
I mean, that was my
getting
first
laid.
concert I ever went to.
Stuff
Was
like
Kiss.
That was probably blowout.
When I was like in like 4th grade,
What's going on?
and I showed up to.
There was like people walking under a sheet
Oh
and like
wow.
holding like the sheet.
It's
Oh,
Halloween,
wow.
man. They're ghosts.
Duh. Boo.
Close.
You went to check your
No,
phone.
they're just crazy people everywhere.
Wait.
It's only the 19th.
Everywhere you turn in this town, there's a fucking lunatic. I swear to God.
Welcome to Tweakerville.
We had a
Especially
lady
right here.
in our driveway last night at like 10 o'clock yelling, sitting on her ass, barefoot, drunk as fuck, right? At 10 o'clock. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was like our neighbors, and then it's going on forever, and the dog's barking. And I finally go out, and she's just fucking sitting there on her ass, screaming her head off.
In your driveway,
Yeah.
like behind your Prius, like right fucking there.
Like, no, like, yeah, on the side, and like, it was crazy, though. And it was like right there. And then the dog's out there, and she's yelling at the dog. So then I got pissed, and I said, stop yelling at the fucking dog. You fucking idiot. Just call the cops, you know. And yeah,
And then I came and picked her up.
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't know if it was my neighbor's like domestic disturbance.
Right,
It definitely seemed like it. And even without knowing, I was like, this has been going on for half an hour.
Way
Get
too
the
long,
fuck
yeah.
out of the driveway. Yeah. Anyways.
And I'm like, how'd you get out? Oh, that's funny.
We've lost every listener that we had. The one guy who was listening to this definitely turned it off by now.
Well, I'm offended by this latest development.
Exactly. Oh, man.
Pretty sure you just laughed like Pee Wee right there. That was a Pee Wee laugh.
All right, Shea, why don't you tell our last listener about yourself?
Okay.
Captivate 'em.
About myself or about my music?
Like, yeah,
Because I don't
go
want him to know. I mean,
About your musical.
What's your
self.
address and social
sex
security
ad,
number?
like, hey, guy.
What are your
I'm
turn-ons?
5'9".
Hey there,
I have brown hair.
last listener.
So yeah, your parents listened to some music, and then you, at some point, you just ventured out into your own territory, buying like whatever it was, Kenny G. I don't know who, Beethoven.
Could have been.
He did play the sax.
No,
Okay, you were telling
I listened to Kenny G. I did. My mom was like really into jazz. I grew up on a lot of jazz. Smooth jazz, whatever.
Elevator music for a lot of people.
For sure. Like a lot. It was really boring, but she like really wanted me. She like. It was weird, the pressure that she wanted me to like play musical instruments, like not just saxophone. She wanted me to play like the trumpet and the trombone and like just fucking get. And I was just like, no, I really don't want to. Like when I was younger, I didn't want to play music at all. And then by like 7th grade, I was like, wait, no, this is actually kind of cool. Cause like it's like my first song I learned was like I was in 5th grade. It was like the Simpsons, whatever, you know, like the opening song in The Simpsons. So that's what I was learning, you know. And I was just
Danny
like, well, this is
Elfman.
kind of cool, but not like it's. At first was cool, then I was like, this isn't cool. But then we started like playing actual music and stuff, and I started to like it. But yeah, the music was primarily jazz, and then like James Taylor, Carole King, like that era of like the 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
Carly Simon.
Yeah.
There you go. Good stuff.
Yeah, my mom, yeah, she loved James Taylor and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Neil Young, like that whole kind of side of that.
Neil Young, big fan.
Hell yeah.
That's good stuff. So then, what'd you get into though?
Punk rock. Well, no, first it was underground hip hop, and what started it was so like the Grouch, Atmosphere, like those guys. Boreal. I went to the Boreal like Warped Tour or whatever. Wasn't that what it was called? Like
Yeah, back
when
in
it was
the
like
day,
cool,
it was
right?
Warped Tour,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Up there.
So I went there to see like Atmosphere, like Slug from Atmosphere was like doing an open mic and Scribble Jams, and like those they would have like little booths or whatever, and so then I would go, but they would only be for like an hour or two because no one really was in underground hip hop. And so I would stay and watch the bands, you know, and then I saw Pennywise, I saw NoFX, I saw Anti-Flag, so like that's what, then I was like, oh, like this is cool, you know, like, all right, like I'm into punk rock. So then I was like,
Like I got two.
I am.
yeah,
I
so,
am.
yeah, so
I'm easily influenced.
yeah, but it was cool. They,
One Warp Tour, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
get that Gilman Street membership. I'm in.
Those go hand in hand, though, kind of.
yeah, and you know, and I saw Fat Mike
Totally.
carry, what's the bass player from NoFX?
El Jefe, or the bass player. Fat
yeah.
Mike, right?
Okay, Fat Mike. So then the other guy, the guitarist.
The Mexican dude, El Jefe.
Yeah, the Mexican guy. He like they were
That's El
wasted.
Jefe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was wasted, and he put him on his shoulders, and I was like, I don't know, maybe like 14, 15, and they were like both still playing and like just spinning around in circles
That's
until they
awesome.
like fell, and then he like crashed into the drums and shit, and I was just like, this is cool, like all right, because I wanted to get drunk. I was 15, like I want to
Hell
smoke
yeah.
some, I want to smoke some pot, I want to get drunk, like I want to do this. And it worked.
I've always appreciated. I've
Then
always
you met an
appreciated,
older, more slightly darker man who took you down that devious path.
You talking about Leshanta?
Why you gotta play the race card, Johnny Cochran?
Are you getting weird? No, I'm being serious. I didn't know what you're doing. Like, were you just being weird? Because it kind of did. Because then, you know, I was going to Leshanta shows and fucking the Neighborhood Watch and like all those guys. And
You were going to neighborhood
wow.
watch meetings.
That's pretty awesome.
Leshanta was rapping.
Shit. It's a good place to end, right?
Yeah. Let's do it up. All right, let's go play some music, I guess.
Deuces.
bye.
Been a long time
dispatches on its way. It's the last chance point on its sled. Stashed away with the camouflage in the corners of a vacuous bed. And the last dispatch is on its way. It's the last chance point on its sled. Stashed away with the camouflage in the corners of a vacuous bed. And the last dispatch is on its way. With the last chance point on its sled. Stashed away with the camouflage in the corners of a vacuous bed. And the last town has buried me alive. Oh, I can't believe I've been so blind. All the kids are coming home to die. And I'm walking away. And I'm walking away. And I'm walking away. Oh, I can't believe I've been so blind. This town has buried me alive. Oh, I can't believe I've been so blind. All the kids are coming home to die.
Hey,
All right, we are
welcome
back.
Welcome back.
What up?
Hey, it's dwindled down. We have two.
It's me, Tony, Dustin, and Tim. Leshanta.
That made it sound like
What's
4 people were
happening?
here.
No.
Yeah, it's me, Tony, Tim, and Dustin. That was Tony and me, calling himself me.
It's I, Tony.
There we go. Or me, Tony, is more grammatically correct.
I said me, Tony, and you guys thought that was four
No,
people.
You said it's me and Tony.
Me.
You didn't say it's me,
Tony.
Tony.
No, I
There
didn't
was
say
Yeah,
it.
there was a
Pause there.
comma
There was a
and
pause.
and you added an and.
I just said me, and then I was like, oh, people might not know who I am. So I said me, and then I said Tony.
People, what people?
Whoever's listening to
Who's
this,
there?
you forgot there's a
Hey,
mic
buddy.
on?
That's true. I do forget sometimes. That's the whole goal, right? Is to forget.
I doubt it. I'm not trying to forget.
I don't
That's
know.
why I go to Disneyland, to forget. People always say, like, when you have a kid, they're like, oh, he's too young, he's not going to remember it. As
Right.
if, like, that's the point of doing something, is for building memories. Just working on my memory banks, trying to have a lot of pleasant memories in there.
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
Yeah, I've been to Disneyland.
Is it pleasant experience for you when you go?
Very pleasant.
Yeah.
I did
I haven't
ecstasy
been
at
in many
Disneyland.
years.
Oh
but
wow.
How was
was
a child?
that? Was that pleasant?
It was fucking the happiest place on earth that
Was
day.
it? I'll bet you were feeling the love.
I was
Feeling the love, doing the bull dance.
I was waiting in line for the Indiana Jones ride, and you know how they have those like fake rocks, like with the texture.
You're going
and I
through
was fucking like
tunnels.
rubbing the wall, and all these people in
You were
line
that
behind
guy.
me are fucking like looking at me like
And they
trying to rub the
so,
wall.
So did they participate
like
and start?
seeing like what's this guy like? Is he onto something?
They were trying. Wow,
This is amazing.
you're that influential. To where
They're
you were
like,
the
"What's
fucked up
this wall
guy
really
on
feel like?"
ecstasy. Yeah.
People were like, I don't know. Should I touch it?
It is a Disney wall. Maybe it's furry.
Well, that they weren't like rubbing your beard or anything. Like,
No,
sorry,
no,
that would
no.
be awkward, huh? That's pretty cool though, because it would be awkward to be that guy rubbing the wall by himself.
Yeah, yeah.
All messed
At
up,
least
but
people
then-
joined in.
Yeah.
Did you,
how did you even do that?
Did you think about that though?
Were
Were you like,
that to happen?
were you worried about people looking at you when you were on it at
Oh, yeah.
Disneyland?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you were worried, but you were just enjoying the
But
wall so
sometimes you
much.
get caught
that
up in the moment,
It was
you know?
contagious. They were just like, this guy's passion for this wall. Oh my goodness, it's contagious right now.
And the
Like, I
Indiana
gotta feel
Jones
it.
ride with like the hot and like the air blowing
But hold
on
on,
you.
but before you got to that, did anybody like feel the vibe? Were they like, oh yeah, this wall feels insane?
I saw
Like, or
people
were they
like
just,
touching it and kind of like
they were,
shrugging
nodding,
their shoulders, like,
yeah, I see what.
I don't get it.
I see. Oh, and then there was those people that didn't get it. They're like, I don't get. Did you see any people that were like nodding their head, like going like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm vibing off
Maybe
this
there was
shit.
a few.
Okay, so now back to the ride. Like the wind was blowing on.
Oh, like
that's got to be
like
insane.
the hot and the cold, and like there's air blowing on you and shit. It was the best. It's made for ecstasy.
So, okay,
pretty much.
Yeah, and
This
then the
is
Satan demon was like of Disney was going.
I have a question.
Buy the shit, feel the wall. It feels good, doesn't it? Buy Mickey Mouse.
I have a question about 2 parts. The bridge, when you're on the bridge and it drops and there's fire, how was that?
It was fucking scary as fuck.
And then the other part, when you're going through and you see on the wall people with blow dart guns.
Yeah, and the blow and the air
there's
like
air
hits you.
shooting at you.
Yeah, it blew my mind.
And then let me guess, when you got to the part where the ball's coming, you had no fear that ball was going to crush you, did you?
I
Or
just
did
saw
you?
balls coming at my face, bro. Like a typical Saturday night.
But he's here all week, at least for tonight.
Not to mention Harrison Ford dangling from a rope.
Yeah, the little rope that you could pull and like while you're waiting, you know, and it's like, don't touch this rope.
I don't
You kept
know.
touching
I
it.
don't recall that.
Yeah, I know. You put a sign up on something. You just gotta touch it.
Oh, what about? Did you look in the eye or did you not look?
I was kind of scared of the eye.
You didn't. Did you look or not look?
Did
I
you
was a
look?
little scared. I think I probably peeked.
Have you ever been on a?
More ways than one.
At the same time.
You do Splash Mountain?
Yeah. But the most memorable shit was Indiana Jones, and then like we wanted to see Captain EO, but it was after it was already gone. So they had like the Honey I
few
Shrunk
years
the
late on
Audience
that.
or whatever.
You do that?
Yeah, that was cool. And then
Did it make you
the
feel
thing
small?
where they do the where they shoot the water up and like put like videos on it and
Oh,
shit. That was-
Phantasmic?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The boat, like the boat show. Did you do the Haunted Mansion?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That probably scared you pretty good, huh?
Nah.
What,
They're happy ghosts.
what about the ghost sitting next to you? You're like, oh
Oh
shit.
yeah. He was my buddy.
Yeah, he's there to guide you through an experience. You're gonna learn something on this journey, right?
We picked up a hitchhiker along the way.
There we go, buddy. We're friendly ghosts. We're gonna help you along. Hey, we don't want to scare you. We're just looking for somebody to hang out with.
I heard that they like hella changed that shit for Halloween. Like make it like all scary and shit.
Yeah, I've been hearing the promo on that. Oh, the Wicked is here tonight. The Wicked is taking over the park. Like, oh yeah, what's going on here, Disney? What do you guys
I
think
think
of
the
the Disney
Wicked took
Corporation?
over the
though?
park when they bought it.
Exactly. So, like me, I think if you would go there on LSD or something, you would trip out because you'd be feeling some evil shit. What do you know?
think?
Because the Disney Corporation for me has that underlying, like, at least today, and before it hadn't at all.
I got
you know?
I got
But
thrown out of Disneyland one time too.
wow,
when I was in,
you
like-
got some Disneyland
I was
stories.
in junior high, and we went with I think it was like an after school program, and we all went to Disneyland, and we were on that little thing, like the bucket thing that like you go across the top of the park, you know.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, the little
like
gondola or
we were
whatever.
all spitting and shit, you know, like off the thing, and literally like we get to like where the thing lands,
Once again,
and
you're
there's
that guy.
like and there's like 8 dudes in like suits with like earpieces, like Secret Service, and they're like, come with us. And they take us to some like
on them?
they take us to some creepy little fucking like underground layer with all these fucking surveillance cameras. They're like, yeah, we watched you spitting, blah blah blah. Like it's assault and battery if you spit in Orange County, and blah 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 blah. And like we can have you arrested. And
So
we're
you got
like,
to see the underworld of
yeah,
Disneyland.
yeah,
was
like
it was it worth
the
it? getting
Disneyland
busted?
Gestapo. It was pretty cool.
sweet, yeah.
And the best part about it was that our group was leaving right then anyway, so they escorted us out, and there we were, and no one found out.
So they just kicked you out. They didn't press charges. or
No,
anything?
no,
They just
no.
kicked
They're
you
like, you guys can't come back.
Come take a private tour with us.
They gave you
of Disneyland.
They just give you like a
we'll give you
regular old
walk
Disney
out.
shakedown. It's cool.
Hey,
Could've
that's
been.
man.
They're like, here, buy some shit on
You
your
just
way
timed
out.
it perfect.
Was it scary for you? Intense? Well,
That was pretty scary, yeah.
because all those suits at Disneyland, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and they were all blonde-haired and blue-eyed and kind of like
Yeah.
Nazi-esque, you know?
But
that's the Disney Corp for you. It's the German agenda, man.
But you don't really want people hawking loogies on other people.
That's
either.
true, and
Yeah,
like
that's not fun.
I
That
would
doesn't
hate
make it the
to have
happiest
that happen
place
to
on
me. And looking back, it's a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, you could
but when
definitely
you're fucking
ruin
15
somebody's
or
day.
whatever, it's
It's
like,
a notch worse than getting shit on by a bird.
Were you
What the
going for
fuck? That
people?
bird just shit on me, but
No,
at least
see,
he
we-
doesn't know
we-
what he's doing.
Okay.
I personally, I don't think I was aiming for people,
what was
but
your
like,
intent then?
but they kind of like shot that whole thing down as like they're like, you're lucky you didn't hit someone.
Oh, they even saw
You didn't even
where
hit
it
anybody?
landed.
No.
Oh, come on. Then you can be like, I got a reflex where I got to spit. Yeah, I got dry mouth or something, or wet
That
mouth. I don't
tells
know.
you what kind of surveillance they have. They saw where your spit landed.
Yeah.
After like
yeah.
zoomed in.
That whole place is on lockdown. And then like 7 years later, when I went back there and did ecstasy, like it was tripping me out the whole time because I'm like, dude, I know about this fucking security here.
They're
guys.
watching you the whole
Don't
time.
fuck up here.
Take it before you go in, man. Just trust me.
I remember we did. We took half of it in the parking lot and then we smuggled the rest in.
You actually smuggled it. You tested the waters again.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
You tried to smuggle it, even knowing and being. Wow.
We did.
It's true
Look at
though.
this guy is a rebel.
As someone looking like probably like early 20s at this time, late. teens?
I was probably 19 or
Late-
20
The second time.
when I
Your
was
second
doing
time,
ecstasy
yeah.
there. Yeah.
You're probably constantly watched. If they have that many cameras watching
Yeah.
people, they're like, oh, all right, watch these
Yeah.
guys the whole
And
time.
every once in a while, you'll like walk around a corner and you'll like smell like a little bit of weed or something, you know? And you'll look around and you'll be like, I smell it, but I don't see anyone smoking it. That's because those motherfuckers already came up and got them.
They're gone. They've been erased. But you know, they knew you when you walked into the park the second time because they got that facial
Oh,
recognition.
I'm sure.
Man.
I'm sure.
They're
Well,
like, watch this dude.
I don't know, because that was probably like mid 90s. So that was before like all the high tech.
So they're trying to throw in like the mind control stuff, and then
Yeah.
pretty soon you're like rubbing the wall. They're like, we got him right where we want him, Mickey. You know. So yeah, guys, that was a fun jam tonight. I'm glad at least two-fifths of you stuck around. The
2/5,
the
40%.
Constellations episode, not quite there, but hey, we'll round up. But folks, what the fuck? Is anybody listening? I'm listening, and I just heard some good ass music. You know,
I'm still not sure what a podcast is, other than like taking pea pods and like throwing them or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's relatively new to our generation. I guess this is what it is. I guess just recording randomly, putting it out there.
Well,
for free. I don't know.
it's what
Some
it
people
actually
charge,
is just like a MP3 file that is on iTunes that's for free in a way, and it could be whatever you want it to be. And there's a lot of different ways people do it. Some people do like I've heard like radio mixes where like a person will play music and like talk in between, do like an old school DJ kind of thing.
So it's like a mixtape, old school, with like some guy
There's
talking
some
about.
that
shit,
are like
this is my
that.
song.
I'm gonna justify
Where's
the
play and
shitty
record?
music that I'm playing right now because man, if you weren't vibing on that,
No, there's some kind of cool ones where it'd be
there
like
is.
a guy who's into like a subgenre of music. The one I listened to before was like outlaw country. It was cool,
nice.
and the guy'd be into this kind of music and play bands of a certain genre and talk about them. And then
Yeah, it's cool shit.
a lot of them
It's a
now
forum.
though are comedians, have podcasts, and they interview
Yeah.
people like Joe Rogan interviews like all kinds of different famous people of all sorts.
It's just would you say just it's the new medium to get new like just
It's just
thoughts
like
and things out there. It
It's
could be
pretty much the same
video,
as
audio.
radio, but anybody can have like their own
You don't have to have a
station that
broadcast
you
through.
pre-record and
The FCC isn't involved.
like.
Not
No,
yet.
apparently not. Yeah, or maybe they are. I don't know, but
Yeah, who knows? Once you start making money
They're
from
going to
it,
censor my Disney
people get
ecstasy
involved.
stories for sure. Then
Yeah, we don't censor anything here unless it's by request. Like you have to request to censor yourself. I haven't requested to censor myself yet.
that's good.
Yeah, we have had some guests that have requested censors. I don't know if we have actually censored it because sometimes but they've requested it.
we only had one censor request, and we
And
and
we,
we
Yeah.
we may
censored it.
have or may not. I'd never.
And it was Kevin Censor who requested
Kevin
it.
Censor. Well, hey, Kevin, you listen out there?
He
You
knows.
better watch
we
what
talked
you say
about
there,
it.
buddy.
He knows.
Yeah, you know what you said. It's there. If you say it, it's there.
You got that shit on your hard drive, no matter what.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least that time when he's telling something interesting, he was talking into the mic. Oh, Staying busy out there, Kev. Yeah, we miss you. Where's Kev tonight? I don't know if we could have fit another sardine.
I thought
in
he
that
was the
box.
fourth person with
He's
Tony.
he's the third. With Tony, me, and Dustin. He's the fourth member.
Yeah, he couldn't make it tonight.
He's
Man.
like what's his name from Fight Club? You know, he's the other the half of the personality.
No, man, yeah. Couldn't make it. We miss you, Kevin.
So Tim,
Yes, sir.
do you want to have your band on here sometime?
Yeah. Or even I could do acoustic shit.
or
like
just Tim?
we could
whatever?
just jam out.
We'd like to have you as a guest. Man, I remember, I was vibing on you tonight playing the bass. That was sounding good. You were tearing it down. I mean,
Tearing it down.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember when I would come in and jam with Constellations, he'd just be like, yeah, I play the bass. I kind of know the songs and play it down, you know.
Yeah.
I'd play with him and, he knew the shit. But, now, you're like the bass man, right?
now-
You're owning that shit. You're...
You got this cocky look to you, apparently.
Yeah, you're you got the swagger. You're swaggering. You're switching from the pick to the triple finger play. You're vibing on Josh on the drums, going you got your little parts. You're
it's
little
all
inside
all
secrets.
drum based with the bass.
That's cool.
that I do
Well,
in
this is those
Constellations
newer
for the
songs
most
too,
part.
right? So
Yeah.
you guys are vibing on the rhythmic part, but no,
Yeah.
I
And
think the
he's
bass-
I just try to keep up with him, you know.
That's a lot of how I play too, because he
Yeah.
gets all these good drum fills going.
His
and we try to play
syncopated
with-
rhythms and stuff are really complex. And now it's funny because I'm being asked to sing a little backup stuff, and it's so much harder for me because everything that I play on bass is almost kind of between beats and syncopated and stuff like that. So it's just singing normally is harder than
singing without playing an instrument is difficult in itself. I mean, doing both.
Yeah. Well, playing guitar and singing, it's because a lot of times you're doing just kind of
Yeah,
a
if you're
rhythm
singing
pattern,
with that,
you know. But with bass, it's plucking and you got to hit the attack of the note right, and stuff like that. It's
Yeah, well, a good practice for that for bass players singing while playing it, try singing while playing on the drums.
yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, you got to get a headset.
No,
Get a Sting mic.
grab your fanny pack with some supplies, a headset, and you're gonna just go woodshed, man.
I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of
Get a
sense
couple
if you're a
sheets of
singing
really
drummer to have
strong
the
acid,
headset.
lock
but,
yourself into the basement.
but it'd be really tough
No,
to.
you're not trying to put on a performance. I mean, you can hear yourself sing while you're drumming. I mean, if you're a normal human being.
But do you you yell out some stuff on the torque thing, huh? When you're playing drums, do
Sometimes
you?
I just sing along randomly. There's nothing planned. No, I don't have any plans.
But
to
I
do
thought I
parts.
heard you at a few parts before listening.
to the
Yeah.
Torque episode.
Yeah, because I only could hear it because I was mixing it and I was listening to the drum part.
I can't say that I don't even remember doing it. I can't
Oh,
consciously
really?
say, but no, I do scream along and sing along sometimes. I've sang in other groups, but it's difficult to do. I mean, sometimes you have to doing both at the same time. You have to sometimes only play one part, which is the most important part. So you got to go. This drum part's more important than nailing this vocal part. So you have to just play the drum beat. And sometimes I think with playing an instrument and singing, you have to nail the singing part over the instrument. Doing them both is amazing.
I remember seeing bands when I was younger, like pop punk bands, and some other members of the band would be you'd see them certain parts singing the song that but not into the mic, just guy whatever.
A lot of people
You
fake
do that
it.
a lot, Tim.
A lot of people fake
You
it.
get into the groove. Yeah, I see you singing along.
Tonight
I see Josh singing along.
Tonight I was trying to
Josh was doing it tonight.
Do you
too.
guys, when you're singing along, are you actually making noise or
That's
just
what
lip syncing?
Yes, tonight I was actually singing.
Belting it up.
I was trying
So
to.
that's just getting in the
It
moment.
was just
Yeah.
practicing.
No,
too,
it is.
for me.
I don't do it because it's not.
Because you sing. I mean, you have that release into the mic.
Yeah,
naturally.
I suppose that's what it is.
Yeah.
But even in number 13, I didn't do it that whole last show
But
or
it's
the whole.
same thing though, because you are a singer and you've had that release at least recently, maybe with not that group, and that's the beauty of playing with.
You
different
think they all have
groups.
this built-up tension, I need to sing.
Not necessarily.
They get playing the bass
No,
or
but it's just
whatever.
that visceral
it just comes
reaction.
out.
Yeah,
It's like blue balls.
yeah.
Well, I think the reason I'm not
I
doing it
think
is
so.
because
Everybody needs to sing. It's that.
No, it's because,
visceral
I'm
reaction,
not-
that emotional music.
I'm actually kind of paying attention or grooving on another side of the beat. I'm not I'm trying to play on something a little off so like I'm not locked in with the main rhythm and like how I would be singing, because I'm playing something that's kind of has tension to that, you know.
Yeah, that impressionistic instead of rhythmic guitar part. So how does that apply to your singing? When you start singing and playing guitar, do you go back into that more rhythm guitar part, and then Leshanta will take over that impressionistic?
Yeah, when I sing, I don't even play a lot of guitar usually.
Oh, you
I back
sacrifice
off a
that
lot.
guitar to
Yeah, I
make
just
that-
He'll hit
nail
like
that
the
vocal
each
part.
chord kind of a thing.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it needs another guitar going, really.
You
when
already
I'm
have
singing.
Leshanta backing it up,
Yeah,
so you go from that impressionistic to that rhythmic while you sing. How difficult would it be? Do you think you could execute doing your impressionistic guitar part while doing a polyrhythmic vocal part, you know, in that melodic rhythm that is separate? That's
probably-
difficult as hell, huh? That's where you get to start.
It's just something I'm not even interested in trying to do.
Why not? It separates your brain. It's a good challenge.
Yeah, but
Spoken like a true drummer. With all those
I don't-
different
Yeah, you
parts
have to-
doing all
yeah,
the
the
different
polyrhythmic
appendages,
with the
doing different
limbs.
rhythms. Yeah.
I can.
just
There's
helps your
enough.
brain.
There's enough time playing music, you know, in the set that I can separate the two and wear both styles out.
Yeah, you get your fulfillment, but I understand that, but you both styles in their exact form. But it's a new style created when you combine the two together, like the 31 flavors, right? Into 1,000, you can combine any one thereof, and that's where you go to as a musician. Like, yeah, you can sing awesome by itself, you can drum awesome, or play guitar, and then now you can play guitar and sing, but now both rhythmically. And now can you sing while playing a lead, while in a completely different time signature in 6, while you're singing over 4, doing 3 bars of 4 while two bars of 6, right? That's where you.
That's when
That'd
you
be
need
like
the
singing
headset.
while soloing. That would just be like that. I feel like my head would explode.
It's definitely unnecessary, but you might want to do it in the shed.
You know, the reason
to just challenge your brain,
the
right?
main reason I wouldn't do it
I
is
can't do
because
it,
of all the
yeah.
complaints I feel like I would hear after. It just seems like a complaint fest. Like, hey, could you quit singing and soloing? Like, how
What if you
arrogant
like
can
sing
be?
the
Doesn't mean you
exact
have to
solo
do
that
it.
you're
You mean,
playing?
but-
Yeah,
like
like
that kind
singing.
of a thing.
I just sing the harmony to my solo. It's no big deal.
Harmonizing with your own solo.
And
there you go.
I
You
use
can't
it-
start ski bopping over every solo. Right? Ski bop, beep, 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 beep,
Use an
Come
octave
on.
pedal.
That's not separating the
And I
rhythm.
sing,
That's complete
harmony.
opposite. Like anybody can do that, right? I can ski bop over my guitar parts, and I can't even play guitar.
What's ski bopping? What are you talking
It's like scat.
Scat.
While you're doing your lead, beep boop boop. You mentioned the
Skilly
guitar,
beep bop,
boop, boop,
doop, dop.
yeah. And the guitar's doing the boop boop while Tim's going the skilly bop bop boo.
You're definitely gonna get more complaints. That's all I can tell you.
No, but you wouldn't if the guitar is going and this thing is going like, yes, I love you, I never want to leave you, something like that. That's people like
we
that.
must roam in different music circles.
Obviously. Man, but yeah, singing and playing, that's fun. I mean, this has been fun. I'm glad we do roam in the similar music circle. And so what's coming up next, though? What's next week?
Your dad is our next guest.
He's kind of like undecided. He's trying to...
He's pretty nervous
to
about it.
Yeah. He knows like the this is the true big time. Stepping up to the big time, I don't know. But yeah, he's still recovering and getting back into true playing form. So I think technically that him on the calendar is up in the air.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and we need to get that 10th episode there. We're working
We need
close.
episode 9.
Yeah, we need episode 9, and we got that
need one more
special episode number 10
We got the
that will be up and coming.
the live episode.
The live episode, the very first ever live episode.
Very
and
first
we-
ever.
Should we even drop it in? Yeah, I think we should.
No, we'll keep.
No,
It's
we
a
can't
mystery
keep the suspense
school.
going. Is it a mystery?
It's a
The mystery school.
Because yeah, this will be the first ever live episode, for episode
Yeah,
number
episode
10.
number
it's a
10.
celebration. Tony, man,
And it's not any of us playing.
what episode is this, dude?
This is number 8.
Dude,
So we need your.
episode number 10 is awesome because we just wanted to get to 5.
No, we were going for 10.
No, we always were going for more. We didn't know how many, but we said. But we were saying our first goal before we even told anybody about it, and
Yeah.
did any work or even thought about it was 5 episodes. That was our first talk, and then after like 1, we're like, I think like we got to get to 10.
What are the
10,
bands names that
10.
you guys have done so far? You did Rough Francis,
we've done
right? Or
Be Brave, Bold Robot.
Be Brave, Roll.
We've done
No,
the Golden Cadillacs.
The
We've
only
done-
band we've actually done so far is the number 13.
No, that's not
But-
true.
No, but we had, we had the other ones weren't having bands on.
Torque. We had the Torque episode,
Okay, we had Torque
which is the only 2 surviving members of that.
Okay, so that was okay. We've had two.
We've had 2 bands technically on the show, and then we've had members of that's true. Members of the Golden Cadillacs, members of Be Brave, Bold Robot, Dean Hawkinson,
It's like the hardest band name to say without like messing up your words.
BBRB. You just
Brave,
gotta abbreviate.
Bold Robot.
Yeah, it's an awesome name.
You just
You have
gotta
to really
take your
think about
time.
that.
Not a big
Yeah,
deal.
you got to think
Be
on that.
Brave,
band,
Bold Robot.
and that's a statement, right? I mean, you have to be brave, whether you are robot or flesh. That's what jamming is about, right? Being brave. We talk about that a lot. Just expanding your mind is being brave.
Yeah.
Going to Disneyland on ecstasy. That's being brave. That's being open for experience.
That's kind of
man.
reckless. I don't know. Well,
Whatever. Sometimes
it was
reckless is
fun.
brave, right? to be reckless is to be brave. I mean,
Yeah, you gotta.
you got to be brave, bold robot, right? It's just
Don't do drugs, kids.
don't until college.
I was in college at the time.
See, there you go. On a technicality, he is released from any judgment.
Yeah, that was that 1 year that I went to San
There you
Diego
go.
State before I lost my financial aid.
Yeah, you see what happens, guys? You'll be at San Diego State with financial aid, and then pretty soon you'll be rubbing on the wall in Disneyland,
Yep.
and it's just like,
It's all
You know
downhill
what?
from there.
music's the answer, right? So no, music's going to save our soul. What do you think, Brother
If you're
Tony?
gonna do drugs, you should be at least 18 and have read a Wikipedia article about it.
Yeah. And don't be scared. Be brave. But yeah,
Be
you need to be
brave,
at least,
bold robot on ecstasy.
it's reprogramming, and only take clean things, like things
Yeah.
that grow from the earth. Like,
Not
right-
ecstasy.
like, no, well, ecstasy technically is like from the tree.
Well, if
and then
you get,
Native
like,
American, you
pure
get the
shit.
pure,
Yeah.
Yeah,
MDMA.
but you're talking about something
You're talking about that,
nobody's
some mixed
had
random
that-
purple thing
None of you
stamped
guys
with
have
like
Made by the
"Timber"
mafia.
stamp, like
don't
they got a
Little
wheelchair
speckles of shit
stamped
in
on
it.
it. But yeah,
Is it really a natural thing? You can find it in the I don't think-
MDMA is
MDMA,
natural.
well,
You
yeah.
can find it in the environment.
yeah,
It's,
Probably
grown
not.
from-
You can probably not find it in the amounts you
It's
would need.
inside
You
your
can.
body naturally, I believe.
Yeah. Well, that's why you have receptors for it, just like THC and DMT and anything else. But
DMT is the real natural.
yeah, there's a
shit
plant
these
though.
days.
I can't even say it, but Google it. That grows, in South America in the rainforest. That's the MDMA is derived from that plant, and unfortunately, people like the drug trade is like pillaging these plants and fucking up the ecosystem. It sucks, and like unfortunately, with it's illegal, it can't be regulated. If it was legal, we could at least have a good balance of people that want to be brave and expand their mind and like not harm the environment at the same time. But yeah, it does come from a natural place, and you can import it through certain spots and refine it to yourself on your own. That's what they call Molly or the pure MDMA. But the ecstasy, I think that's what that's originally came from, because you had that feeling of it from the pure MDMA. But now I think the street term for ecstasy is that mix of like, hopefully there's that derivative from the South American plant, with the MDMA in it, that love drug. But then there's a lot of other bullshit mixed in.
Yeah, usually
that's
meth.
cheaper stuff, meth or cocaine or who knows, whatever else they can cut it with to stamp that pill.
Pseudo. Lots
Yeah.
of shit like that.
And then it's even better than the original shit, because but no.
And better for
I don't
you.
know. Who knows? But, yeah. But I don't even know how that. But to even just do like mushrooms or LSD or psychedelics, I think those terms were like, obviously anything's a drug, like caffeine or the cigarettes. Yeah, but like drugs shouldn't have that stigma, and they should be having illegal things, stuff like making expanding your consciousness or exploring states of consciousness illegal. To me, that's not logical. You know, and I call BS on that. It's weird to me. You know, and if you have a really awesome mushroom trip or be brave and eat more than like they tell you because you're a brave person and like you have that experience, you're like, that shit in that closet is like worth more than gold. And that's why it's illegal, because you start reprocessing the system and thinking new ways.
It's
like,
all
that's what the
better
human
for you
has
than
to
any
do.
of that shit the pharmaceutical companies are producing.
It's healthy for you and your brain, and you have to be brave. Not everybody though. It has to be that brave person that maybe reincarnated a few times and he's ready to challenge that. You know, because it can have adverse effects on other people.
Like, someone like Danielson from the Karate Kid.
But even, especially though, the adverse effects come from that, like that domestication and being told and being scared, and they're not brave enough. You're told you're gonna never come back from it.
Yeah.
You eat too much, and then they eat a little bit, and then they're arguing with their consciousness instead of eating enough mushrooms to get past the rocks and be out in the fucking ocean swimming and like experience a true
running
feeling.
around naked through a funeral. Like,
Hopefully, people don't do that. But I mean, that might be an awesome experience, right? As long as they're not like rubbing bugs or ants eating them off them while they're running through there, you know. But if they're like running through and being like, everything's gonna be okay. This guy that just died, like I'm running naked through like the Willie's woods with him, man. Like there's sunflowers everywhere, and this guy's going to heaven, man. I swear to God. And he just runs out. I'm gonna hit the buffet real quick. I'm only eating some fruit. This processed shit's crap, man. Throws a plastic shit on the ground. Eats, grabs a banana, just takes a bite through the fucking brine, starts chewing it, and he's like, I'm out of here. Right?
the best thing to do would just be running around naked saying, the man at this funeral is possessing my soul. Help, I'm being possessed by this man at your funeral. Maybe his family can talk him out of it.
Get out of my body.
Man. That's the ultimate, like, prank right there. Just like, what's the show? Like, you just got served? Or
You're looking for
punked. Yeah, there you go. You just got punked. Ooh, yeah. That'd be
You got served is like when you dance.
next
battles.
week on an intense episode of Punked. Tony eats mushrooms and runs naked through a funeral procession and tells him he's possessed by.
That's not how it goes. It would be more like
spirit.
they would talk about like whose funeral. They'd be like, next week someone, runs naked through Bill Cosby's father's funeral or something.
Bill Cosby's father's funeral.
I don't know. Whose funeral do you think would be a good one to punk?
That was pretty good, man. I think.
I feel like Bill Cosby's dad's probably
He
been
might have
long
missed
dead
that
for a while,
episode,
though.
man. Yeah. Good pitch, but let's find somebody that didn't die 20 years ago.
Maybe Bill Cosby.
Maybe
Getting
Bill
there.
Cosby, yeah. We'll go to Bill Cosby's funeral.
God rest his soul when that happens.
I'm running through here right now on mushrooms.
And the kids with the hippin' and the hoppin' and the jello pudding pop. Buy some Kodak film and go down to the hippity hoppy store. Oh, man.
It's not a bad Bill
Good
Cosby.
impression for me to poop on. Oh, man. Good times, good times. Man, Bill Cosby's funeral on mushrooms.
No,
Get out of my
Run
funeral.
through naked, possessed by Bill
it's not
Cosby.
Bill
The spirit of
Cosby's
Bill
funeral.
Cosby.
It's his dad's
Bill
funeral.
Cosby's
we moved.
dad's funeral.
I know we moved past that
'Cause
though.
I
His
was
dad's
thinking-
dead. His dad's dead. So
It wasn't Williams.
now
I
it's Bill
don't.
Cosby.
I would never, in my brain, conceive of a dead Bill Cosby. That'd be too sad.
That'd be
is pretty sad.
traumatizing for you right
I'm
now.
not gonna like put myself through that.
Oh,
So I
not even for humor's sake.
but I could do it if it's his dad.
You brought it up, dude. You brought it up. Why you brought Bill Cosby into this
Get out of
situation?
my dad's
This-
funeral. Somebody take a picture with the Kodak film.
Don't get me putting on the prints. Oh man. Holy cow. That's some good stuff. So Bill Cosby would traumatize Tony if he died. So we got to.
He's not gonna live forever, buddy.
He's
Let's
coming.
move on.
It's coming to
all right. Good.
All right.
We got to change the
I'm
subject.
calling my lawyer.
Oh man. Well, another wonderful episode, I'd say. Episode number 8. Are we keeping track anymore? We do have.
Just kind of turned into
hey,
Tim's
we
drug
talked about
stories at the end. I don't know.
I think I've really been into
Yeah,
the
well.
idea of Disneyland drug stories. I think they're really funny
That could
because
be a
Disneyland
whole
is the
podcast on
trippiest
itself.
place you could
It
ever
is.
go.
It is
Seriously,
Yeah.
if you not really,
We should do a
take
Disneyland challenge. See how fucked up you can get and maintain
How many
at
hits of acid
Disneyland.
can you take?
Yeah.
I have
and not
come out of there
and not take off all your clothes and end up in that fucking river.
doing like a eulogy for Bill Cosby's dad.
I haven't been to Disneyland in years. I'm out of practice. I couldn't even probably smoke weed and go to Disneyland.
What? Come on. What?
I'd have to be sober, man. It's too intense as it is.
Wow, man, you're getting tame in your old age, huh?
Well,
Can't talk about Bill Cosby.
Dearly beloved,
he's off the
we're
subject.
gobbling
He's
here
off the
today.
table. No, like
All right.
I can't smoke a spliff at Disneyland. Or I just
I
might
could-
trip out.
All right.
I might rub my pee-pee against the rock wall.
what do you want? Let's do it. Let's take Terrence McKenna's heroic dose and go to Disneyland.
You think 5 grams is a heroic dose? Come on. That's
I
standard.
do, yeah.
That's standard. That's a
5
standard
to
dose.
7.
I think 7 is.
He says 5 to 7.
well,
man.
that's a perfect. I think. I would
Oh,
say
you're lowballing the heroic
No,
dose,
I think
acting
4
like it's too little.
No, that's normal. I think 4 to 7 is the perfect range. Anything more to that is not worth it. It's like you can't process it yet, at least with our stage of evolution humanly. And then anything below 4 grams, I think maybe a good 8 or 2-3 grams is some good ones.
Man,
But I think 4 to 7 is perfect. But yeah, the 5 gram hero's dose is the perfect dose to where you can have that epiphany. The string theory is there. You look up and your hand is attached to it. And yeah, you're off the rocks. Your ego is out of there. And you are having just those epiphany after epiphany after epiphany. He knows what he's saying. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be in public in that. I like his theory of laying in the
yeah.
dark room
Yeah,
and
right.
like that sensory deprivation almost.
I've never
and going
dove
through the journey
into
there.
5 grams.
No?
Have you done the 5 grams?
I've done tons of acid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to do it in.
You laugh at 5 grams.
I used to do it in school, in high school. Hey,
One of
there's
those really
Van.
smart kids.
Find his guitar.
Yeah.
I'll get it for you.
Cool.
Van
At
wants his
school.
guitar.
Van's gonna.
Yeah,
we're
so,
gonna get Van's guitar.
I went to
Yeah,
this
we'll
high
get your
school,
guitar, Van.
very nearby here. I'm not going to mention the name. And during the rallies, they used to have, like, if you didn't want to go and deal with all the bullshit, you could go sit in the cafeteria and just hang out.
They gave you that choice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
This was a long time ago. But anyway,
Could you
and
still
all
smoke
the
cigarettes
kids,
back then?
all the kids in the other place would all like pass out hits of acid, and everyone would drop at school.
Wow. So I'm always passing the pep rally for like.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
and then you'd be walking down the hallway and you'd see someone that you knew drop too, and you'd be like, "Hey!"
Science class is now awesome.
I got like a solid B- on a chemistry test, Brian, one time. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
see, I think like people that are meant for it. I mean, it can actually make you more intelligent if it's the good stuff. And like,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
is that genius kid walking around on acid all day, and like he just maintains, and he's just like acing everything, and just like he's seeing the universe and everything
Well,
ties together, and just like
The difficult part is just keeping it together, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole battle probably?
And
That's
that
the whole
and,
learning
and
experience
plus
from
that
it
that
is,
involves
yeah,
not taking
self-control.
too much
Maintain-
too.
yeah.
and it involves
self-control,
not letting
maintaining.
anyone look at your pupil. That's the main
or
thing.
just
it
letting them look
involves.
right into their eyes and looking at them and convincing them that you are completely fine and you are 100% smarter than them.
You think the Jedi
Right?
mind trick works on teachers?
Yes, it does. How
I
many,
think
how
a
many
lot of-
teachers have you been smarter than? Like 98% of them, right?
A few.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You
I'm
look them in the eyes, you're like, dude, how come you're teaching me? Yeah, you can do the Jedi
What
might
I'm talking
trick on
about
them.
when
You're
you're
just
frying, you look
confident.
a teacher in the eye.
Yeah, you can pull
And
it
they
I
don't
out.
won't look anyone in the eye.
Normal
when I'm-
people.
They don't see
Yeah,
your
who says you got to
pupil.
look them in the eye?
They don't see like the mild.
As long as they
small
only
ring
see the
around.
one
Hey,
pupil at a time.
I know a
you're
lot of
fine.
people, family included, like their pupils, they just look like that all the time, and they're the most intelligent people like I know. But
When you get
they
the
don't- they don't
one
even
that's
do
really
anything,
big
but
and
their
the one
pupils
that's
are just
small.
big, and they're on top of everything at all the time.
Who are
So
these
that's
people?
Normal. Well, my younger brother, actually, Jacob, he's a
He's-
head chef, and like
he's
he doesn't do anything
big
like that. Never
pupil,
has.
huh?
Yeah, he's got really huge pupils, like almost bigger than somebody tripping out, like just that.
Bet he
thin
can
rim,
see
and
good
it's
in the dark.
Non-time.
Well, he's taking in a lot in those eyes.
Yeah, he's
You can
taking
see
in
good
a
in the
lot.
dark.
He's very intelligent.
That's
Creative.
why cats have those big pupils.
Our family is really musical, and him.
He's discovered 4 stars.
He has. His music is being a chef and cooking.
Yeah.
But those pupils probably help him see that like bomb ass arugula or whatever the shit they do. Foie gras.
He can pick out the best avocados because those wide
know it.
pupils help to really pick up
They do.
the
The
dark
definition.
textured avocados.
They know.
You got to touch an avocado to know if it's
Wait a
right.
second.
Yeah,
You're an
sure.
illegal immigrant. You're
Sure
not a
you
real
do.
Mexican. He can spot that shit better than Gator. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, hey, we're going to some good levels here. I like it. Do we have to end it? Because we keep going. But, I mean, being in high school on acid and, like, the hero's dose, those are conversations that need to be explored.
I went to
because-
Circus one
those
time
are-
on acid too. Don't do that.
No. I think, but the hero's dose and finding your happy place. I mean, maybe being in the woods with one or
Yeah.
two loving people, like a good friend, a good mate, you know, or
Hallucinogenics and camping are an amazing combination.
yeah, you either need to be in your room in a dark space, almost sensory deprived, but in your home, close environment, or out camping or in the woods or hiking somewhere, exploring at one with nature. And also, I've heard like being near water helps facilitate like that comfort. I think a lot of things that I've heard with reading about bad trips is since like humans are basically a majority water, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
98% water. So if like people in the desert are too far, you start taking these hallucinogenics, you start having these bad trips. If you can even get near water, a small part of water, it
Even
gives
a
you that-
puddle?
even maybe, I don't know, maybe. But they think the correlation is
Spit on me, bro. I'm having a bad trip.
Yeah. But yeah, being close to water, you know, or
I'm
near
gonna
that.
find you one day with dowsing rods, having a bad trip, looking for water.
Where's the
Tony, just find me some fucking water, man. Please.
You just got 2 dowsing rods, just walking around.
next to a 7-Eleven? Where's the water?
If you think back about it, like,
Laying
and,
in a
if
little
any
gutter stream.
discomfort you may have had, and maybe even a sober mind or that kind of elevated state of mind, how far are you away from water and those thoughts you may have had, and then maybe those trips, did they lead you to the conclusion of solving it by going to water? I've just even thought of one right now.
I don't know about
where-
that, but this is what it makes me think of.
No, listen to this. Hold on.
Burning Man.
What?
Out in the desert, all
Out
these
in the
people
desert.
tripping,
All
no
the
water,
hipsters.
no water.
They're not over tripping though, and they're people that
Oh, sure they're not.
they're those people that are well prepared, obviously,
Yeah.
that are out there.
Not
They're-
all of them.
I would say
There's some
they
weekend
know what
warriors in
they
there,
know
I'm
what they're
sure.
they Wikipedia'd, like you said. They've investigated enough to know what they're getting into. To where, and also they put. I'll bet you they have water features out there. They have a whole downtown city.
You're just
They
not
have
willing.
water
You're just not
features.
willing to let
They got
Burning Man
water.
knock out your water theory.
No, not at all. They have water at Burning Man.
Not
and they
a
can
lot,
go get in
though.
tune with water.
But
They have West Nile virus.
They
out
have as
there,
much
too.
as we have here. We got the fear of
no,
scarcity.
we have way more
No,
water here.
We can't. We got the
I
fear
could
of
turn on
scarcity
the hose;
here.
it'll run for a week.
They got hoses at Burning Man too. Come
Nah,
on.
I could turn.
They got
on,
people driving in gigantic buses.
All right.
It's like a furry teddy bear
You're
with all
right.
kinds of drugs and beer and
You're
whatever
right.
on it. They got hoses with water on it. You can spray shit
the
down.
desert.
My friend just went
in
there. He had
Burning
a
Man
hot
is
glue
just
gun,
as moist
gluing
as
somebody's
this area.
like a broken like bra of beads with a girl's tit hanging out. He had a hot glue gun out there. at
Why
Burning
do-
Man? You tell me they don't got water?
He brought
out
a
there?
hot glue
He
gun
brought a
to
hot glue
Burning
gun.
Man?
Who the hell brings a hot glue gun? But he had one, and some girl
I'm
came
gonna
out
need
there.
this weekend.
Yeah, some girl came out there with a broken bra with her boobs hanging out, and this old man got to fix a broken boob coverage because he brought a hot glue gun. These people trade peanut butter jelly sandwiches for hot glue gun bead boobage fixes. You're not telling me they don't got water features out there to help your bad trips.
Do you believe he had a hot glue gun? He just shot a load on your lady's tits.
No, because my lady wasn't there.
Oh, all right.
And he went there. He had a hot glue gun.
I got a hot glue
He
gun.
showed me a Polaroid. He showed me a Polaroid with greasy pudding fingers that he took with a picture of Bill Cosby in it. Helping him hot glue the bra. And dude, let me tell you, Bill
Who's
Cosby.
got the hot glue gun?
Bill Cosby was fucked up. He took the hero's dose and he was searching for water. He found hot
I
glue.
need some vitamin C.
He found hot glue and some titties, and that was close enough for him. And he maintained.
All right.
I'm crashing hard.
All right, Fonzie. You want to jump the shark before we go?
How do we do that?
Tim, tell him how.
Jump the shark? I don't know.
You think we've already done it?
How so?
Like that. Like jumping the shark. Like when Fonzie jumped the tank with the shark, and then every episode of Happy Days sucked after that. Is that what you're referring to?
The climax?
Basically.
Episode 8 climax? Is this episode just too good for the Chronicles?
No, I think the conversation has jumped the shark.
Yeah, definitely.
We've gone definitely to the where you want to edit.
We're not talking about
post-edit.
music.
We're not talking about music.
We
here
haven't talked
at all.
about a single sound.
We did a little bit. But you know what? Right? Like Bill Hicks said. Like, you know, if you don't
comes
think
Mr.
drugs have
Bill.
done good things for us, if you don't, go home tonight, take all your records, all your tapes, all your CDs, and burn them. Because you know what? All those musicians that made all that great music that's enhanced your lives throughout the years, real fucking high on drugs. So it ties in. That's the thing. There's nothing that's off topic. There's nothing we can jump the shark. We jumped the shark the second we started recording this shit and thinking we were important enough to record.
It's probably true.
Yeah. But Tony, me and you, we talked about this for a year, and we just wanted to record this shit because we talk about some interesting stuff, and it would be cool
So
just to talk
Dustin
about
has
it
been
and think
telling
back
me.
on it. Yeah, and we can look back on it and listen and reflect as a fly on the wall, or just capture some great music or moments. Who knows? Maybe nobody will listen. Maybe me and Tony will just listen to it while we mix and listen back once and never listen to it again. Who knows? But it's been fucking fun. And we got something on our schedule to challenge ourselves, to put ourselves out there, to be uncomfortable and awkward and jam and talk about shit we don't know what's going to talk about. You
We
know, like,
definitely, I mean, we wrote all this shit down. And this is all
it's
planned.
all planned, man. Yeah.
I still never got a copy of the script.
Man, you were improvising great for it. We're like, start out with some Disneyland ecstasy stories.
Bring it into
I've actually never
Bill
been to
Cosby
Disneyland
eulogy.
or done drugs.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Hey, guys. It's been fun. Thanks again for Constellations coming on. That was huge. I mean, that was fun. Hearing some good new music out there. Spread the word about Constellations. Do you guys have any shows up and coming
Not really. I
in the
mean,
works? Maybe
October
next month?
25th.
got some
Yeah.
coming up, huh?
October
Do we?
25th, the Blue Lamp.
So it's coming up about creepy time, Halloween. It's going to be the
November
pre-Halloween.
7th, I believe, at Old Ironsides.
So come on down. Old Ironsides, downtown Sacramento. The Blue Lamp, that's a cool spot.
Yeah.
It's downtown Sacramento. Old Ironsides, you know, they're coming up with their, what
They just did a
75-year anniversary? Tony?
Yeah, 75.
Is it
didn't they?
75?
Yeah. 75 or 80.
I thought it was like the 75. Was it something you...
It might.
Did they
might
just
be
have that,
80.
or they
It
have?
might have
Is it
been
coming
80.
up?
It was
I
like
feel
last
it's 80.
weekend.
I feel like it's 80.
I think it was
it's
80.
this weekend.
I know that they did something last weekend, but I think it's like a
Are we
multiple
gonna go?
weekend
Are we
thing.
gonna go on site for that celebration?
I don't
What
know.
happened? Did you talked to the promoter, right?
I talked
What's
to
going
him
on
once.
with that? Let's call him
I
up.
left him a message. Oh, you
When?
want? I left a message a week ago.
Quit calling my phone.
Well, wait. Just tell him you got Bill Cosby.
Stay
back
out of
along
my
with you.
dad's funeral.
You want to call him Bill Cosby? Hey, since we got Bill Cosby on the show, this shit is real now.
Let's wrap it up. Ready?
Did you tell the guy that Bill Cosby was a guest on our show?
You know, I could make up all the lies in the world. I just don't think he's gonna buy them.
Man, Mr. Timid. I mean, come on. I love you, man. I love you guys. This has been fun. Constellations, we got a couple shows coming up, and let's wrap it up.
Oh,
Holla.
Thanks, Tim. Mystery School signing out. Later.